Now. Hey everybody, EJ here, going live today on this Wednesday. You can close the door. If you're hanging with me this Wednesday, oh no, you can't turn that on. It's gonna mess with my sound. Hello everybody. We're just talking to my office mate. Um, so I decided to go live today for a couple of reasons. The first is I want to invite you, if you are a healing practitioner of um, any modality, or you are a coach, or you are a author or speaker, or you are an artist, and you want to expand who you reach, you want to build your business so that you have systems in place so that you can make a bigger impact. I want to invite you to sign up for the Empowerment Incubator, which is a program that I created and will be facilitating. It's a 90-day coaching program. And drumroll, best of all, is there zero investment as far as finances on your side. My company, my team will take care of building out the business system for you, giving you the software that you need in order to run your business effectively and reach more people. And your responsibility, should you be accepted into the program, is to do what you do, is help others, serve the people that you want to serve, make an impact with the audiences and the people that you want to help. That my commitment is to help you reach more people. And so um, the goal is that if you are a healer or a coach or an artist and you're doing work to make the world better, then please consider applying. It is an application process. The last day to submit your application is May 6th at 11:59 p.m. You can go to the I don't know which way to point in the wrong way. Whatever. If you see my name in this corner of the screen, you just below it is the website you should go to. It's empowermentincubator.com. Real simple. Just go there, complete the application. It's no cost to do that. It's free. It's really short. My team and I will review the applications after the deadline, and then we will actually respond to everyone to let you know if you made it or not. And if you do make the short list, then there's a short interview that you need to do before we get started on May 20th. So please go complete the application. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you already completed an application, that's great. You're good to go. If you haven't and you're interested, or if you know someone, you may know someone who is an amazing coach or an amazing energy healer, and they just need a little support with, reaching more people and healing more people, then please recommend this to them. I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to get started. We've increased the number of people to 10. We know that we have capacity for 10 people to be a part of it, and I think we've already gotten how many applications did I say? It was like 69, 68 applications so far. So we want to just reach as many people as we can, and we want to help as many people as we can. Originally, we thought we can only do 5, but now it's been discovered that we can actually have 10 people in the program. So that being said, great. But that's not why you're joining in today. It may be why you're here, but I have some stuff for you. So most of you may know that, and you may not know who I am. I'm Dr. EJ Johnson. I'm the founder of Elevated Guru and Purple Label Consulting. I run a marketing agency, and I run a spiritual, metaphysical-based e-commerce store called Elevated Guru. And if you don't know who I am, that's who I am. That's part of who I am. But today I want to talk to you because I am a coach. I do energy healing with folks, and I also do something that I call the mental and emotional reset, as well as elevated visioning and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the reason why I wanted to talk to or do this live stream today is because I work with a lot of people, and most of the time, I'm either working with them in a personal development space or a business space because of the consulting and marketing. And on both sides of the fence, I always get clients and customers who, in their heart, have a desire to make a difference in the world. They know that they want to do something to show up powerfully in the world, but they feel like they can't discover what their purpose is, or like they haven't been able to really really hone in on what their purpose is for being here. Personally, I personally believe that we all have that, like there's some divine reason why we all are here, like each and every one of us, with our own experiences and journey, with our own unique skills, unique gifts, unique talents, unique perspectives, from the way that our mind works to the way that we see the world. I think we all are here to bring forth something that is collectively needed. I think the very reason I subscribe to the thought that the very reason we were born was because there was a prayer that was put out into the universe asking for the uniqueness that we are as individuals. And so, that being said, when my clients ask me or say, well, how do I discover what my purpose is? We usually go down a few exercises and we try to, get them present. My goal is to get them present to um, the altruistic reason why they're here, right? And the thing is, society, the world, our experience of it, our culture, who we are, where we were born, how we were raised, it all impacts us in different ways, right? We might have come here to this planet, born into this body, into this experience for one thing, and we may have been persuaded along the path to do something else. But I really do believe that our heart, our soul really knows what it came here to do. And it kind of tugs at us until we get in alignment with exactly why we are here. Like, it took me personally a long time to really get down to the bottom of what it is, really get down to it, like what it is I'm here to do. And I know now I'm confident and with certainty, I know what I'm here to do. I'm here to help others discover what they're here to do. and so it's really freeing and empowering to stand in a place where you have certainty around your purpose. But oftentimes I'm faced with seeing so many people, so many clients of mine, and even friends and family even, that seem to have a disdain for life, and not like a disdain in the way that they want to do harm to themselves, but just really have no they don't feel like life is really all that exciting. And I believe when we fall into the trap of thinking that this is all that there is, that where you are in this moment is all that there is for you to be, do, or have in this experience, is when we get bored. And so a lot of my clients who have struggles with discovering what their purpose is, I always take them down these 10 sort of steps or 10 processes to have them kind of discover for themselves, or rediscover, if you will, what they came here to do. And so I'm going to share this with you today. So number one, I usually have folks do what is called a values assessment. And a values assessment is really about looking at the things that really make a difference for us. There are many, many values assessment tests out there that you could take, many personality tests, but I like to get down really to just the core values that you are attached to or that make a difference to you. And looking at values, when you're looking at your values, you're really looking for the principles that guide your beliefs, your actions, and your choices, right? And it is known that when your values align with something, um, it is easier to make a decision about it. You often will feel congruent with it, like you'll feel like it just synchronistically feels good, like it's your zone when your values are present. And we're not talking about any old values. We're talking about like the top 5 values you hold dear to you. And sometimes that takes a little discovery, right? Is really taking a look at what matters to you. Does family and health or security, wealth, money, what are the things that are deal breakers for you? Your core values. Some ways to do that, some ways to discover that without the guidance of a coach or someone, is to journal and really just ask yourself the question over and over again: what matters to me most? What matters most? What's important? What has to be present for you in order for you to feel aligned and congruent? So, number one is really taking a look at your core beliefs, your core values. And some of those values, there's no studies about this, but some of those values I believe we come with. And then some of them are informed by our domestication, our childhood, our rearing, um, the environment we're in, and some of them get formed by past experiences, and then we determine that, nope, I don't like that, this is what's important to me. um, Values can be changed and reassessed, they can be adjusted, but you can't adjust something until you know what your baseline is. And so discovering what your values are is kind of like first step in the process of unearthing or discovering your purpose. Number two, passion. I once heard, I think it was a podcast by Simon Sinek, where he was like, don't start a business with your passion. And, Simon is Simon. That's what he believes. But I always believe that if I'm not passionate about what I do, no, I don't believe it. I actually know that if I'm not passionate about what I'm involved in or what I'm doing, then I don't show up as my best. That's a high value for me. That's important to me. Now, it may not be for you, but I believe discovering and reflecting on what you're most passionate about, what lights you up when you think of it, what makes your heart sing when you're immersed in it. These are all key things to examine, to reflect on, to note on your path to discovering what your purpose is. So, number one was identify your core values. Number two, reflect on your passions. What activities, what things do you participate in? Bring a smile to your face. What lights you up? And when I say lights you up, that you're like excited to be a part of it, or to do it, or to even just thinking of it elevates your vibration. Number three, explore your strengths. Now, there's a caveat to this one. We're exploring our strengths to know, not necessarily that our strengths are our purpose, right? Knowing your strengths, knowing what you're good at, you're genuinely, like, you do with effortlessness, knowing what you're good at is great. However, if it does not align with the first two, it's a little problematic. So if it doesn't align with your values and it doesn't align with passion, then just knowing your strengths and trying to force that as your purpose will cause a misalignment. So knowing your strengths is important because you will then know what skill set you have that you're good at, and maybe what you need to acquire in order to follow your purpose or to pursue your purpose, right? So knowing your strengths doesn't necessarily mean that it is your purpose. It simply is a measurement for something that you have aptitude in, something that you're good at. Like I know people who are great at accounting but hate it. It's a strength. They're great with numbers. They have always been an accountant. They went to school, accountant school. They're like, chief financial officer for, a Fortune 500 company, and yet they hate it. It's like passionless for them. It doesn't align with their core values, right? So having your strengths can help you sort of guide what it is you should be doing on your path, but it's not necessarily the thing, right? It's about having discernment and using all of these techniques to form a picture, if you will, of what your soul came here to do. Number 4 is to consider your circumstances and life experience, right? You cannot negate from whence you've come, or is it from whence you've came or come? Oh, from whence you've come. Thank you. you cannot you cannot throw out your history, your past, including the trauma and the victories. All of those experiences from your past have come together in a way to create your perspective on the world, who you are in the world, how you show up in the world. And your past leaves clues as to what maybe your purpose is. I had a client who was had suffered childhood trauma of molestation and abuse, and she couldn't understand why that had occurred for her, why that happened for her. But it wasn't until we did some of this reflective work and kind of looking at who she is as a person today, how that experience shaped her life, the part of it that one would consider good and bad, that we discovered that she was, that experience armed her with the tools and the knowledge to be able to make an impact for children who are experiencing that sort of trauma now as she's an adult. And so that's her passion, is to be a voice for those children who can't speak for themselves. And I don't know if she would have landed on that if she hadn't had the experience. I'm not saying that, molestation is great, but she might not be as passionate about it if she hadn't had the experience herself. And so utilizing trauma, not as a way to revisit that trauma or relive it, but sometimes our traumatic experiences can open up a pathway for us to really get present to the resilience that we have, to the abilities that we have as a result of being a survivor of that trauma. And it can line up with the passion and our values. And so sometimes being willing to do the work to actually look at the trauma for what it is, without attaching the meaning or the hurt with it, but really just looking at it and seeing how it developed a person or how it developed you, right? And trauma could look like, witnessing trauma, or it could be trauma that you experienced yourself, or it could be even victories, times when you felt unstoppable, or you felt a level of greatness, or some people call it being in the zone. Looking at your life experiences as a way, like, what challenges have you faced and overcome, and what victories have you, thought you were going to get and didn't quite make it, or what has emerged in your life that you could take from that, the lessons where the passion and the core values all seem to line up. When you start looking for a theme um, in these practices, it starts to open up. You start to open up. And I like to say that we start to awaken to what it is that we really are here to share and to do. And number 5. So we got 4. Number 5 is to be open to new experiences. Be open to trying new things. Experience and experiment with newness. And, I always say this all the time. Whenever I go travel somewhere, I always want, especially if I've never gone to that place before, I don't ever want to hear anyone's experience of it. Right. So, someone can say to me, "Oh my goodness, don't go to New York. The street smells like ugh." Right. I don't want to know that. If I've never been to New York, I don't want to know that. I want to experience whatever I'm doing newly. And I want to experience it without a filter of someone else's experience, right? Because we cast these spells on each other where we share or vomit our beliefs and our perspectives on other people. When we choose to approach things with a childlike wonder and awe, we can then see difference. We can see different things than maybe if we choose to go about things the same way. And so I'm always looking for an opportunity to experience something newly. And this particular tip number 5, which is to try things new, can be applied to the things that you do every day, or to something literally that you've never experienced or done before. Life is meant to be lived. And it's through the living of life that we get to discover the allness of life and the vastness of who we are. And so you'll start to form this picture, like I mentioned in the beginning, forming this beautiful picture of what your path, your blueprint is. A side note, I feel like, so many people wander this planet not knowing truly how special they are, and that they literally are an intricate piece of a ginormous puzzle. And when we all get on our purpose, the puzzle starts to beautifully come together, like a tapestry, just starts to beautifully come together. And so the faster, the quicker, the more people discover their own unique, special skill, gift, or talent that they came here specifically to do, the faster the tapestry gets created and we get to see it. And so what often happens is when I share this with others, they'll say, well, I want to be a singer. And there's like billions of singers out there, but there's no 2 people on the planet that do something the exact same way. There's no 2 singers that sing exactly the same way. There is even the most minuscule, most infinitesimally small difference. It's there. And so carving out who you are uniquely is how you bring your skills, gifts, and talent to the table. I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a marketer. And there's millions of them out there, but not one of them has my perspective, has stood in my shoes. Not one of them. And there are great coaches, far greater than me, right? There are coaches I've been coaching 25 years. There are coaches who've been coaching 40 years, right? There's far more experience, but it doesn't stop me from bringing my special, unique skill, gift, talent, perspective to the table. Because the person, and this is another thing that you got to get present to, that thing that's on your heart to do, whether it's start a business, open up a restaurant, or dance until you fall out, whatever it is, that thing that's on your heart to do, it is an answer to a prayer that has already been prayed. And you withholding that means that prayer is going unanswered. So our job is to get on the ball, discover our purpose, get on the path of our purpose, start sharing that skill, gift, talent, desire, passion, right? Because we are the answer to the prayer that was prayed. So our job is to show up as the answer, right? So it doesn't matter if you're on a big stage or a little stage or no stage at all. Your gift is no less important than Beyonce's gift, who sings to millions. You may sing at a church. You may sing in your home. You may sing at the senior center. It's making a difference in the area that it needs to make a difference in. So just want you to get present to that. I'm going to keep going. Get that. Number 6, observe. Be observant. Oftentimes you can find your purpose when you'll notice that people approach you about something all the time. They're like, hey, could you show me how to cook that? Or could you teach me how to do this dance step? Or, hey, you know what? I really just need to talk to somebody. Are you available? Right? People will show up asking you to do the thing that is your thing. It's like the thing that you do that's amazing. Right? It's now what there is for you to do is to look at that and say, is this on purpose? Am I passionate about this? Right? Does this play to my strengths? Can I approach this newly? And maybe just giving advice is not my thing, but maybe if I teach people, maybe teaching people and training people is my thing, right? Is that not giving advice? Yeah, it is. Kind of, you're educating. So it could be in the same wheelhouse. You just think a little bit outside of the box. You're trying it newly, right? And you're observing the thing that people often gravitate to you for, right? It'll be a natural, like, gravitational pull. People will always seek your consult, or they'll seek your advice, or they'll ask you to show them to do things, or it's like that. It's just kind of natural. And sometimes I find that we do it and we don't think it's special because we can do it so easily. And so we don't put any stock into it. It's like, if I don't have to work to be able to do this right, then it couldn't possibly be my purpose. Well, it's not necessarily true, right? You got to look at it newly. It could be your purpose, and maybe you just did it effortlessly all this time. But if you start to observe, you'll start to see, what are those things that you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy, playing with your grandkids and teaching them? Maybe teaching is somewhere in your wheelhouse. Maybe it's a passion of yours. Maybe it's not teaching in a formal school, but it could be an online course, or it could be workshops or seminars, or maybe it could be a book that you write. Thinking newly, outside of the box, and observing. The next tip I always say is to start experiencing through reading and learning. If something piques your attention, maybe take a class on it. Not invest a a lot of time into it, but test things out. Like, try them out. Maybe read a book, maybe listen to an audiobook about topics that pique your interest. Learn something new about it. I hope you all can see that there's a pattern of being like a scientist, right? This experimentation. We are here to experiment. We're here to practice, experiment, try things new, create new things, expand, create something new, discover something new. That's what we're here to do. And so if you find that you find yourself super interested in AI technology all of a sudden, where you've never been interested in technology before, maybe just be curious about it enough to learn something more about it by reading a book or taking a brief course on it or reading some papers on it or surfing the internet to do a little research on it. Curiosity. Number 8, get involved with organizations that you feel aligned with, right? It goes back to the goals. The values. Number 1, what are some organizations that call to you, right? Is there a cause that calls to you? Are you passionate about puppies and want to make sure that every puppy has a home or every dog has a home? Are you passionate about conservation of the planet? Whatever it is that some people are drawn, you can be drawn to a cause, and that being drawn to that cause within it can house your purpose. Maybe you're the one to come in with your accounting skills that you hate working at a for-profit company for, and work for a nonprofit as an accountant and feel absolutely delighted, like you're on purpose, like you're in the zone. So it's about thinking outside of the box and looking for opportunities to test where you might be aligned, to feel it out. Life is meant to be felt through, not just existed. We are here to feel. That's why we have feelings. We're here to feel our way through it, not just exist. And so taking on some of these activities, these steps, will allow you to start to see things from a different perspective, to experience life anew. Number 9, personality tests. There are some really amazing personality tests, like Myers-Briggs is a pretty popular one. There's also the fascination test, helps to kind of discover things. I tell people personality tests, but there's also human design. There's also some of these other modalities that tap into like our astrological makeup, like astrology, human design. You can even discover this through even esoteric modalities like transcendental meditation and neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis. Like there's a lot of different modalities you can go down this rabbit hole, way down, and there's tons that I haven't even mentioned. The point is to experiment, to test, to try on everything. To live. Right. And number 10 is self-reflection. So self-reflection, mindfulness, a mindfulness practice, journaling is a great way to self-reflect and to really like unpack some of the things that we have in our head. I find journaling very, very space giving. And so taking on a regular practice of meditation and journaling can help you kind of see the themes and patterns. No one's saying you should hold this in your head, because that's a little dangerous. I'm saying write it down, experience it, write it down, get it out here. right? It's in the discovery, the practice, the experimentation that you start to, and the documentation that you start to see patterns and themes. And it's in those patterns and themes that we can take a closer look, start to play around with, try on newly, experience, that we really start to dial in to our purpose. Now, you may work at a 9-to-5 job that you absolutely hate. I've been there, done that, did it for 10 years. And I felt like every time I walked into the office, I was dying because I wasn't on my purpose. My soul was screaming, please do something, man. Now, I'm not saying that, you have to leave your job. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that what I learned now, what I didn't know in that moment, is that you can then be in purpose or on purpose in an environment that doesn't necessarily speak to your purpose until you can put yourself into a new environment. I'm not saying, hey, don't go around saying, hey, EJ told me I should quit my job because this is not my purpose. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that do this reflective work, look for the patterns and themes, and try some things on, experiment with it, and who knows where that path will lead you. Just be open to the journey. Ultimately, it's about being open to life. It's about living life. So I hope this was helpful for you. Post in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful. If you've discovered your purpose and you're like, hallelujah, I got it. Or if you're still feeling like, I don't know what the hell you just talked about for the last 30 minutes. I still feel confused and I got to go to this job that I hate. Post that up too, because I'll be happy to give you some more feedback if I can, support in any way I can. And if you think you're a good fit for the Empowerment Incubator, please go ahead and apply. You have until May 6th, my mother's birthday. You can apply at the link. The link. I keep trying to point to it. There it is right there. You can apply at the link, empowermentincubator.com. And that's it for me today, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching in the replay. You're all amazing superstars. I appreciate you. Peace.